Bar Liverpool, who has been your toughest opposition in your career?
Probably Man City. Another one, same sort of situation, like another European tie that we were lucky to get, but only conceded 5 that night, so I'd say that Man City, definitely.
Was that in the Old Main Road or the cinema?
No, it was the first game in their new stadium, like,
right.
So there was only 50,000 seeing me embarrass myself that night.
As a player playing in Europe, would you rather a glamour tie like Liverpool or Man City even, and play against great players in a great stadium, or a tie against a small non-league team like Gretna, where you're almost certain to go through?
It's a tough one, like, but I'd probably say after playing in them big games, I'd rather like a chance to go through, like, but I wouldn't say Gretna or a small non-league team, like, but if you got a team like that, you're always on with a chance, but I'd say a smaller team, definitely.
Well, they underrated us before we went over there. So. What is the goalkeeper coaching setup at Derry like? Do you have your own coach, or do you share coaches with the outfield players?
There's no goalkeeping coach, but Doherty Devine does both as well. We'd come in at the start of the week and me and PJ would sit down with Doherty and we'd sort of put out a timetable and if we're going to do extra sessions, because Doherty will be busy with the first team, but we always make a way around it and we enjoy the sessions that Doherty puts on, like, but there's no full-time goalkeeping coach as such, like, but Doherty does the job.
How many years do you think you have left as a player, and do you have any plans for life after football?
I'd like to say about a good couple of years. I wouldn't like to say how many exactly, like, you never know, but I'd like to go into coaching afterwards. I'd probably do a bit of goalkeeping coaching. I'm looking to get my badges and that at the minute, but definitely goalkeeping coaching when I'm finished.
What did you think of the Trojans team back in the day?
Unbeatable, just some team we had, some side.
Who would you love to see playing for Derry?
I don't know, it's a tough question. I wouldn't mind seeing Paddy McCord coming back, to be honest.
Stevie G?
Stevie G, if we had the money. I think he'd have a hard time getting the money out of Pat McDade, but...
Is he not United man too or something? I don't know.
As a United man?
I don't know. Well, I would have it. If you really had to play for any other team in the league and you had the choice of any of them, who would you choose?
None of them. I'd retire just. I'd hang up my gloves and my boots and I'd go and do my goalkeeping just.
I might come back to haunt you, cause
I wouldn't play for any of them.
I remember Darren Kelly says he wouldn't play for anybody else in Ireland and he saved reported it out. Are there any current goalkeeping rules that you'd like removed, altered or introduced?
I'm not sure about the 6 second rule where you can't hold on to the ball for more than 6 seconds, because it's a load of crap, to be honest, because if you stand there and count it, the keeper will have the ball in his hand for 15 seconds or whatever, but I just think that one's just a load of nonsense. Like.
You mentioned there about the cup final last year. What goes through your mind when you're preparing to save a penalty?
I think you just have to look at the player. If you done your background checks on him, or if one of the coaches, usually before we play a match, Alan Reynolds he'll know who hits the penalties for the other team, and he'll have a word with me before the match. But I don't know, if you don't really have any information on them, it's a bit of pot luck, but you try your best to stand up tall and try and put them off, just play mind tricks on them, but whatever's going to work just.
I think one of them iPods that Ben Foster had for a cup final, the handy. Which Derry players have the worst shots in training?
The worst shots? How long have you got?
Well, who's going to win Thunderstrike?
Barry Malloy would be the worst for the shooting and training, I had to say. Gerard McGlynn wouldn't be the best in the world either. And Eddie McKillian, I don't think Eddie's hit the target in training in about 5 years. But no, for Thunderstrike I'd say Sammy Morrow. Sammy's got a good strike on him, so I'd say Sammy.
Right. On your stayaways, what do you like to do at night? Which is your favourite hotel and why, and who do you room with?
I room with PJ, obviously. The keepers stick together, but on the night time we don't really do much. Sometimes you'd have a game of poker or something, but I just take it easy and read a wee bit of a book or something. The favourite hotel at the minute would be the Clarion beside the airport, because as Stephen told us the other night, we haven't lost a game since we've stayed there, so we might start travelling down there before home games as well.
Good stuff. Right, the following questions, well, I've categorised them, they're not so serious. They're sort of away from football a bit.
Was them one serious before? Not really.
Gary Jameson is a very prominent member in the forum. He's a moderator as well, and he hates Big Brother. And he wants to know, do you think it is a pile of balls?
No, I think it's great. Every year I can't wait to sit and watch auditions and everything. E4 plus one, Sky plus it if I'm out at night, or no, I can't wait for Big Brother to come round.
He's going to fucking hit you, but which Derry player would have the best shot at winning the X Factor?
I'd say Barry Malloy. He fancies himself as a bit of a singer. Even Rory Higgins, you can't get him to shut up. I think he might go for a karaoke king on M&S as well, so I'd say it's between Barry and Rory.
So, we've heard you have the biggest in the team. Hands, of course. What else do you think of it? Is that true?
And the rest,
Who cuts your hair?
That's a DIY job. Not going to pay to get my hair cut. Fiver every time just to get my head shaved.
2 years. What's heavier, a ton of fellers or a ton of bricks?
A ton of bricks, obviously.
They're both the same. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The chicken.
Where'd the chicken come from?
The egg, you mean?
So where'd the egg come from?
Central, round the corner.
Are you a club man or a phantom man?
Club.
Who's the longest in the shower?
Clive Delaney.
Are all keepers mental, or is this just a football myth?
I think you have to be a wee bit mad to be a keeper, but I wouldn't say mental now.
Who's the new club joker now that Hergies are gone?
Big shoes they follow, but I'd say Barry Malloy.
Is it true that Craigan is the best place in the world?
Is there anywhere else?
What's your drink of choice when you go out?
Just a wee pint of beer.
What kind of cane?
No, anything if it's free as well, even better.
What would be your death row meal if you were in death row?
Spuds, cabbage and bacon. The missus makes the best spuds in the world.
Yeah, I have that fibre for you. She asked me to give you that answer as well. Alright. We've had some right characters and jackasses play by Derry over the years. Darren Kelly, Ola Tidman, Owen Morrison. Go on, tell us a story about an agent that you have played with in your career over the years. It doesn't have to be Derry if you don't want it to be.
I even thought you'll knock that off for a minute and come back.
We'll leave it there. Are you a Sugar or Da Vinci's man?
Probably none of them at the minute. A bit too old for Sugar, but still a wee bit too young for Da Vinci's, I'd say.
When in Derby, did you ever have a bird's sausage cob with applesauce and stuffing?
I don't think I did, no.
Do you know what it is? I don't know what it is.
I think it's a bap. A cob's a bap, I think, but...
Right. Who do you think is a better keeper, PJ or Quiggs? Quiggs is from the Isle of Man. He stepped on last year for the penalty shootout.
Oh, right. I thought you were on about Darren Quigley. I wasn't going to answer that one, but I'd have to say PJ.
I think it's Quiggs. Maybe it was Darren Quigley, I don't know. What do you think of the new forum?
Great.
Great answer. I have had fibre for you as well. Custard cream or bourbon cream?
Custard creams.
What's your favourite 5 items on a buffet table? He's the top buffet man here. Like, you know, he's
sausage rolls and the wee mini sausages. Nothing else, just the wee mini sausages will do me. Big plate full of them just.
How many supporters clubs can you name?
Pass.
Are you secretly moonlighting as a steward at home games with the new keeper tab?
A few people have said that already.
Who's the most annoying Derry supporter?
Marty Dunn. Without a doubt, Marty Dunn. Jesus Christ, don't get me started on him.
He's a big Liverpool man too, like.
I don't care.
Did you ever say to Pat Fenlon, "Hey Pat, I can see your house from up here"? Just I'm joking with you.